Welcome back to the Julia Show. Today we're going to address the number one block that holds us back from truly stepping into our feminine power, our feminine expression, and that is fear. We are going to be breaking down fear today because we have had enough, ladies, of holding ourselves back, of not being unraveled in our expression, doing what we feel is right, not listening to what people think, not listening to other people's opinions, or worrying about what people think. Becoming Untamed, and that is our series. This is week 2 of our Untamed series where we become closer to our authentic selves. Last week, we dived into the topic of feminine energy beyond the trends of black cat, dark feminine, light feminine. What true feminine energy is about is actually stepping into your authentic expression. It's expressing what you want, what you feel. It's doing creative things and really unraveling yourself for the world to see, because I believe we all have potential that is meant to be unraveled, that is meant to be shared, that is meant to be expressed. And the only thing that's holding us back is truly ourselves. So we have to get out of our own way and become untamed. So be sure to check out last week's video because we really went deep into understanding what feminine energy actually is, not following trends, not following media, following your heart, following your truth, following your soul. And now let's get back into today's very fiery topic. By the end of this video, if you don't have a fire in you to go take that action to change things in your life, then I don't know, because I had a huge fire, huge passion as I was creating this video and channeling the information that I hope motivates at least one incredible woman. I asked these questions last week and I'm going to ask them again because these are the anchors of this year for all of us. And the questions are, who do you want to be by the end of 2025? What do you want to be doing? How are you expressing yourself? How do you want to feel? And now as you think about these questions of who do you want to be? What do you want? That version of you that's already established and realized herself. Now I want you to ask yourself, what fears are holding you back from that version of you? Is it fear of embarrassment? Is it fear of looking cringe? Is it fear of judgment? Is it fear of not being accepted? Fear of looking weird? Because all of those fears, guys, these are the fears that actually tame us. It is the internal blocks within us. It is the subconscious blocks that tell us that we're not good enough, that tell us this work of art isn't worthy. These are the fears that are blocking you from actually getting to the other side, because there's this version of you right here in this reality, and then there's the version of you that's already actualized and realized. And in between, guys, is a pathway that we have to walk, but we will never be able to walk without addressing our fears. The fears that are in between your version today and the ideal version of yourself, the true, authentic, expressed version of you. Fear of embarrassment, fear of being judged, fear of looking cringe, fear of not being good enough, fear of not looking perfect, not looking put together, not looking polished. The reality is, and this is going to be crazy because when I realized this, I thought, mic drop, those fears are inevitable. We are going to have to face those things. We are going to be rejected. If you have a fear of rejection, we are going to look cringe. We are going to look unpolished. We are going to look raw. We are going to look bad. We are going to look bad. So what? And the crazier part is the fact that we are so trained, so conditioned, especially as women. I don't know if it's the society, with the upbringing, with the media, with the beauty standards. We are so conditioned. We are so trained to want to be perfect, to want to be polished. God forbid we're not aesthetically pleasing. God forbid we are not the most proper, amazing version of ourselves, the most polished. But here's the crazy wild part. For us to get to that ideal expressed version, we're going to have to be bad. We're going to have to be raw. We're going to have to be sucky at something. We're going to have to be embarrassed. We are going to have to be bad. And so if our fear are being judged, if our fear of not being validated are stopping us, we are never going to get to that other side. And that is the critical point, because you have to ask yourself, am I ready to give up my vision Am I ready to give up my vision, or am I ready to face these uncomfortable fears? Fears are always going to exist. Fears are never going to magically disappear, but are you letting your fears tame you, or are you taming your fears? And that question, are you letting your fears tame you, or are you taming your fears? And the best way to tame our fears is, one, realize that they're not going anywhere, and two, realize that they are not blockers to your progression. The best way to get over fear is just to take action. It's to try. It's to be okay to look cringy, to look crazy, to look weird, to not be perfect, to not be polished. And God forbid I said it, to not be this perfect version, this polished version of who we are thinking that we're supposed to be, and just being ourselves, being explorers, being adventurers, being raw, being authentic, being playful, being childish, awakening that playful spirit. And if you have not read this book, I'm going to plug it in right here, The Artist's Way. It will change your life. It will shift your creative life. I think every woman should read this book because it will help you tap into your true, authentic self-expression. Because the problem is, we as women have been conditioned to try to be this filtered, curated, beautiful version of ourselves. If we're gonna do something, we better do it right. You know, this perfectionism trap. There are a few traps that I want to call out today, all of which I have also fallen, trap to. Trap number one is the perfectionist trap. I'm not even gonna try this because I know I'm not good yet. I'm not gonna post that video because it's not perfect. I'm not gonna go and post this picture of myself because I don't look great. I'm gonna wait until I look better. I'm gonna wait until I lose some weight. I'm gonna wait until I'm 80 years old and I have nothing to show for my life, you guys. And I have nothing to show for my potential. If that doesn't scare you, if that didn't just put you out, that gave me an actual moment of realization, then I don't know, then I'm not the right channel for you, because this channel is about actually growing and transforming and pushing yourself and becoming that version of yourself. And then there's the other trap of not wanting to look cringe, or getting scared that people are going to judge you, getting scared that you're going to make a mistake, getting scared of looking bad. And I literally had this happen today because I'm now getting deeper into my creative spirit, singing. I've been taking singing classes. I want to start creating music. I want to start singing. And then there's that fear along my journey that says, ew, you sound so bad. Oh my God, you're horrible. This isn't even professional singing. You don't even have a musical background. You can call it the inner critic. You can call it the, whatever you want to call it. The point is, it's fear-based. And so we have to reprogram our brain and stop thinking that not being perfect is unacceptable, because we have actually conditioned ourselves. And I realize this. We have conditioned ourselves that not putting the most polished version of yourself is foreign. It's like a foreign concept. God forbid I don't look so great. God forbid my voice has a crack in it. God forbid, my face isn't filtered. What happened to being authentic and raw and natural? What happened to allowing ourselves to not seem perfect, to be unfiltered, to be raw, and being yeah, whatever, so what? So what that I don't look like every other girl right now? So what that I don't look like every other creator? I don't care. We have to learn to not care. And that is going to really help all of us. It's going to help me. It's going to help you. It's going to help every creative individual on this planet actually do the thing that they can do. And so regardless of what fear you have, we have to really map this out. This is you today. This is where you want to be. What fears are stopping you? Literally draw this diagram and realize you're gonna be experiencing those fears. Are you ready? Because I'm ready. Are you ready? I think we're ready. How do we get ready? We just go. We just go. We just believe in ourselves, believe in the vision, have faith, and do it. And we have to accept that we're gonna suck. We're not gonna be good. It's gonna take time. People are gonna think it's weird when you're doing something that they don't understand. But how can somebody understand you if they don't even understand themselves? I would never judge anybody for putting themselves out there, because I think it's beautiful when people are putting their creations out there. So if you're scared of people judging you, let them judge you. Let them think you're weird. Let them think whatever, because you're not creating for anybody but yourself. you're not expressing or anybody but yourself. Because what ends up happening when we fall into these traps of getting stuck in the fears and being so scared to be in them that we don't even go there, we just stay stagnant. And if you really are honest with yourself, which I had to be, if you're somebody who picks up certain things and doesn't go and finish them all the way through because you're like, oh no, that's not for me. I tried it, I didn't really like it, it didn't really get the results that I was hoping for, so I'm going to switch on to something else. The real kicker here is that it's not the thing, it's you. You are the problem. We are the problem. Why? Because you start to go into a direction and then these fears keep coming up and you're like, oh wait, no, this is too much. Fears block you from actually being in it, getting over them to the other side. And so you say, let me go drop this and let me go try something else. You try something else, the same thing happens, you drop it. And then what happens is you're just stuck in the loop. You're just stuck in this little loop of starting, stopping, and never actually getting over to the other side of your true self. The version of you that would be fearless in her expression, that's the real you. This, Julia, today, I'm not even me. I don't even know who I am. I am not even the real me. So who are you? What do you feel a calling for? What do you feel an inkling for? What is your soul telling you to do? That is not your imagination. That is not some crazy idea. That is you. That is the real you. We have to just be very clear on that. And the version of you today is actually an outdated, limited version. So we have to continue to expand. So I want to share one exercise for week number 2 that is incredibly, incredibly powerful, where we reframe our fears, because fears are never going to go anywhere. But what will shift is your mindset and your ability to tame them. What you're going to do is you're going to write out everything that scares you, but you're going to reframe and reprogram. This is something that I call fear reprogramming, and it really changed my life. So you're going to take a piece of paper, and every time you're scared, you're going to state it. You're going to acknowledge the fear for your mind's sake. And then what you're going to do is reprogram it in the process. This is also something called like mental magic, where you reprogram your brain. For example, you're going to say, I'm scared that people will judge me. That's the original limiting sentence. And the liberating sentence that you're going to reframe it to is you're going to write, I'm scared that people will judge me. But deep down, I know that just being creative in that moment will make me feel good, so I'm going to do it anyway. I'm scared that people will reject me if I say this. But deep down, I know that saying it will feel so true to who I am, so I will say it anyway. So you always want to end it on an active state, right? So you're taking action always. We're not just kumbaya here, we're taking action. So you're going to say, I'm scared that nobody likes my art. Liberated version, I'm scared that nobody likes my art, but deep down I know that my art is my own expression. It is between me and God. It is between me and Source. It's not for anyone else. It's mainly for me, because I feel so damn good when I create my art. So does it really matter what people think? No. So I'm gonna paint anyway. Start to get into the groove of having this dialogue with yourself, where you do fear reprogramming. You have your limiting sentence, and then you flip it into a liberating sentence. And what happens is, in that moment when you're scared and you do this, you're gonna realize, wow, I have the power, not my fear. I have the power. Yes, I'm going to be uncomfortable. Yes, it's going to suck hearing how my voice is cracking. Yes, it's going to suck looking back at my footage and thinking, okay, you could have done better there. But I'm okay to face that fear. I'm okay to be uncomfortable, because I know it's growing pains. And I'd rather be in it, be listening to myself, be honoring my creative self, than completely holding myself back and feeling like there's so much trapped potential in me. Because this is the worst thing that I've ever felt in my whole entire life, is feeling like I meant for something and yet I don't know what I meant for, and so I end up doing nothing. But the reality is, it's not about your purpose or, oh my gosh, who am I? It's, how are you going to create yourself? What are you going to decide to do? What are you going to decide to show up for every single day? How can you show up this week and honor your creative self, your expressive self? How are you going to express yourself boldly? How are you going to get out of the box? How are you going to stop limiting yourself? How are you going to step into your fear and tame that fear rather than letting it tame you? And the challenge for this week that I want to share with you all is I want to challenge everyone this week to do one thing of expressing yourself in an unfiltered way, not perfect, not polished. Actually, be okay and observe yourself, how you feel when you're not polished, when you're not perfect, when you're raw, when you have imperfections in your voice, in your creativity, in your looks, and just put yourself out there, whether that's creating a song and posting it, whether that's dancing outside, whether that's, speaking out loud and expressing your voice online. Share yourself with the world. Share yourself with the world, because that is true feminine energy. When we can share, because we are creative goddesses, we actually channel so much wisdom, so much creativity. And so when we don't let it be expressed, that is because we are blocked. And when we are blocked, we are disconnected from our true nature as a woman. So how do we connect back to our feminine nature? We express intuitively, not trying to be perfect, not trying to be polished or curated or aesthetically pleasing. Just be raw, just be real. Have courage to not be scared. Have courage to be scared and do it anyway, knowing that nobody's opinions matter more than your own evolution. Nobody's opinions matter more than your own growth. I want to leave you on this high note. I hope you're feeling fired up. I'm feeling fired up. I'm feeling excited. I'm going to go for a walk. I'm going to go sing. I'm going to go create, because when we are creating, we are connecting closer to God. We're connecting closer to heart. We're connecting closer to source, to the universe, to our truth, to our true self. I love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you, love you. I love you. And I am wishing you an incredible evolution. Be sure to subscribe. Be sure to follow. Be sure to share and comment, because my channel is growing and it means a lot to me when people are commenting, and also my channel is growing. Yes, I have a lot of potential. Do I need validation? No. Do I like validation? Yes. So do validate me, you guys. Still feels pretty damn good to be validated. I'll be posting an affirmation video on overcoming your fears and stepping into your true expression this week. Be sure to check out that video and last week's video if you have not, because this is a 6-week journey. This is a transformation. This is an experience, an immersion, because that's how I like to do it. I like to go deep. I like to transform. I like to evolve. I love you. Toodles!